here and not have a huge debate. As I've said, officers are not open.
Everybody to the Development Assessment Committee meeting for the 15th of September. I'll open the meeting and just sort of note any apologies. I know that Councillor Ward is having difficulties connecting, so no other apologies? Okay, thank you. Just to advise everyone, this meeting will be recorded in accordance with Council's policy governance rules and also be live streamed. Confirmation of minutes. The minutes of the Wednesday, the 18th of August Development Assessment Committee have been circulated. Is somebody prepared to move that they be received, please? Move Councillor Berry, second to Councillor Minari. Any dissent? I'll put that. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. Any matters arising from the previous minutes, councillors? Okay, thank you. Item 6, disclosure of conflict of interest. Councillors, I would like to note a conflict of interest in item 7.2, the two-lot subdivision at 264 Camerons Road, Comida, in that I've acted for the owner of that property in my professional capacity as surveyor. So are there any other conflicts of interest, please?
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I'd like to note my conflict of interest for item 7.2 in that over close association that the applicant is related to the wife.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. Are there any other conflicts, councillors, with respect to items on the business paper? Okay, thank you. At that time, both Councillor Edwards and I will duly note our conflict and not participate any further in the meeting at that time. Item 1 is 7.1, development use of 3 warehouses, 3-lot subdivision and reduction in car parking, 1 car space at 8 Osborne Street, Mattingly. There is a recommendation there, councillors, on page 6 onwards. So any questions? I'm prepared to move that recommendation. Move Councillor Edwards, seconded Councillor Dudzik. Any dissent? I'll put that. All those in favour? It is carried. Thank you. The next item of business is meeting at this stage. So I'll wait to be put in the waiting room by the IT people, please.
Yeah, ditto, Mr Mayor.
Thank you.
Make sure Tom's gone.
Through you, Mr Chair. Councillor Edwards and Councillor Sullivan, waiting room.
All right, beautiful, thank you. Okay, just looking for the notes, maybe a sec. So item 7.2 is 2-lot subdivision at 2. We have an officer's recommendation to reject this. I'm in your hands, councillors. Anyone want to speak on this?
There's
Do we
a
have these
speaker.
speakers? Oh, sorry.
Through the chair, I believe there's a speaker to this item.
Okay, this is Mr. Mundy.
I also have a point of order, says the chair, that I'll bring up after the speaker, please.
Okay, well, let's admit. Mr. Mundy, you got the floor.
Excuse me, Mr. Mundy, you're on mute at the moment.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Thanks, Mr. Mundy.
All right, very good. We're on our way. Thanks, Mr Mayor and councillors, for the chance to address this. Firstly, we would like to address a question that was taken on notice at the July DAC meeting as to why this application was not put forward in 2017. Both my wife and myself's personal circumstances have changed markedly health-wise since 2017, necessitating some decisions relating to these changes. Our desire to retain the property intact after living here for over 41 years has been compromised, and we're unable to provide adequate care for the current 24 hectares. Amendment C58 determined that land on the eastern side of Cameron's Road is unsuitable for farming and is best suited for rural living. We have at some expense obtained legal advice from a QC indicating, and I quote the following: a permit may be granted to subdivide land which is not in accordance with any lot size or other requirement in a schedule to this overlay, unless the schedule specifies otherwise. Irrespective of how strongly worded a requirement in a DDO schedule is, it is not mandatory unless the words of the schedule state that a permit cannot be granted to vary the relevant requirement. In other words, a permit may be granted, end quote. The relevant schedule requirements in this case are in Schedule 14, found in paragraph 3. The proposed building envelope meets all the design objectives in the schedule, including the minimum requirement of 6 hectares in the Moorabool Shire. There are currently 11 lots under 11 hectares in the rural living zone. The only 4 lots indicated for possible subdivision are each mostly within the quarry buffer zone. This means all lots except this 24 hectares would be less than 15 hectares. We would believe it would be sensible and fair to permit a subdivision into 2 lots, so the lot sizes would at least be consistent across this rural living zone. This application would not undermine the strategic work undertaken and would, as explained previously, add only 1 lot to the whole residential density. It would not disrupt the orderly planning within the rural living zone. It would in fact correct what appears to be an oversight in the original C58 amendment to provide suitable lot sizes for rural living. Visual amenity DDO2 would not be affected, as any proposed development on the newly created lot would not even be visible from Cameron's Road. All the objectives of the Environmental Significance Overlay Schedule 2 have been met. There is no adverse impact on flora, fauna or landscape features, and the site is more than 300 metres from a natural waterway, Goodman's Creek. Whilst the building envelope is not indicated on the proposed new lot in the C58 amendment, there was an alternative dwelling envelope identified prior to adopting C58 as part of the Bushfire Management Overlay Schedule 1. A bushfire management plan was prepared by Terramatrix with a BAL rating of 19. The building envelope complies with the Bushfire Management Overlay Schedule 1, mitigated to an acceptable level without adverse impacts on environmental values. An effluent disposal envelope was identified and meets all the criteria set out under regulatory guidelines. The building envelope identified has been declared to conform with all the strategic studies undertaken at the time and would be suitable for development. There were no issues raised in referral responses. There were no public objections received.